our top story. That's the stalemate that continues between farmers and the centre over the farmers' Delhi Chalo protest. Do remember, this is day 3 of the protest, and on day 2 on Wednesday, a meeting was held between the farmers and the centre, which turned out to be inconclusive. So another meeting has been planned today, which is going to be taking place at 5 o'clock in the evening. Who all are going to be there at that meeting? Piyush Goyal, as well as Agriculture Minister Arjun Munda, Nityanand Rai. They'll all be there in Chandigarh for that meeting, that very crucial meeting that's coming up. And what's been said is that up until then, the farmers have ensured that they are going to be protesting peacefully at the borders of Delhi. They're not going to push their way through the barricading and the barriers that have been put in place. And this march will, in fact, be on standby. They're going to stand down up until 5 o'clock till that meeting takes place. But on the other side, in order to show their solidarity as far as the farmers are concerned, the BKU have announced that they will block railway tracks in Punjab in solidarity with those marching towards Delhi. And SKM has said that they will block toll plazas from 11 o'clock in the morning in Punjab. The CBSE has issued an advisory for students who are going to be taking up that board exam starting today, whether it's class 10 or class 12. The board has asked students to leave their homes before time and arrive at the examination centre half hour before the exam starts. So the deadline is 10 a.m. even though the exam starts at about 10:30 in Delhi. More than 5.8 lakh students will be taking the exams at 877 centres. So this is, of course, ahead of that board exam and advisory that's been issued for the students to reach half an hour before time.
केंद्र का रवैया ठीक नहीं है। हम अपनी तौर से कर रहे हैं, भी हम पीसफुली बैठते हैं। आप वार्ता करिए, वार्ता में क्या बात आती है क्या नहीं आती है उसके बाद सोचेंगे। अगर बात टूटेगी तो हम अपना फैसला कर लेंगे, भी आगे बढ़ना है आप अपना कर लीजिए। जब हम अपनी तौर से कर रहे हैं, भी हम वार्ता के लिए तैयार हो रहे हैं और हम कह रहे हैं भी हम पीसफुली बैठेंगे, आज आगे नहीं बढ़ेंगे, तो उस समय केंद्र को शेलिंग हमारे ऊपर करनी नहीं चाहिए। तो
किसानों को इस बात का भी ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा, खास करके वैसे संगठनों के नेताओं को जो किसान संगठन से जुड़ करके इस तरह की बातें कह रहे हैं, तो आम जनजीवन को बाधित ना करे, आम जनजीवन किसी तरह से परेशान ना हो। एक सामान्य लोगों के लिए कठिनाई पैदा करना, मैं समझता हूं कि इससे समस्या का समाधान के बजाय समस्या और अधिक उलझती है।
हम किसानों के आंदोलन का भी समर्थन करते हैं और सरकार द्वारा वार्ता के प्रयासों का भी समर्थन करते हैं। एमएसपी पर कोई कानून ऐसा बनना चाहिए ताकि किसान के उत्पाद का सही दाम बाजार में मिले। किसानों की आत्महत्याएं बढ़ती जा रही हैं और उनमें निराशा है, इसलिए चुनाव के ऐन मौके पर इस आंदोलन का कोई पॉजिटिव नतीजा निकले तो एनडीए के लिए अच्छा होगा।
We have Vishal joining us. Vishal, of course, the timing of this just ahead of the general elections, which are going to be taking place in a few months from now. Take us through the situation on the ground this morning. I mean, we have heard that the farmers have said that they're going to remain peaceful. They're going to stand down till about 5 o'clock, till there's some sort of outcome that comes out of that meeting. We do know that over 2 days, the meetings that have taken place, it's just remained inconclusive as far as those meetings are concerned. Nothing's come out of them. Can we expect something different today? It's day 3.
So Divya, I just spoke with one of the most prominent leaders in the farmers movement. He is saying that he's not very hopeful of the outcome of the meeting today that is scheduled to take place at 5 p.m. in Chandigarh. People in the farmers movement, they don't know who will be present from the central government for the meeting. Last time it was Piyush Goyal and Arjun Munda. This time they're saying it's not clear who will be there. So there's some kind of non-clarity there. So they are also saying that there's not much hope, because last 2 times there was few. You can see there's one more leader has just arrived. I think that's Sarwan Singh Pandher. He's talking to the media. We'll just try to find out what he's saying and we'll relay the message. But for now, the leaders that I've spoken with, they have told me that today will be a day of relative calm till 5 p.m. when the meeting occurs. But at the same time, they will also have to be wary of the youngsters, the thousands of youngsters who have been trickling in every day. So what the problem for the farmers movement has been is that even though the elderly leaders who have been telling the people to remain calm and stay back and not try to cross the border when the talks are going on, many of the youngsters don't really listen to them and try to go across and try to break the barrier down. So that's been one of the problems. Announcements go on for the whole day, but youngsters have barely been listening to them. At the same time, traffic has been clogged for the last
The farmers there, of course, have been saying that they are going to be very peaceful. They're going to stay calm. They're going to, stay put as far as the borders are concerned. They're not going to push their way through those barricades and those barriers that have been put up across various borders, connecting to Delhi. But you're saying that it's the youth that don't really listen to the announcements that are being made through the day. Take us to the kind of turnout that you see at the Shambhu border. Has the number increased over the last 3 days?
Yes, definitely, most definitely. So the first day it was only a couple of thousand. Then yesterday I could see estimate I could that I could make that I also asked around. People were saying at least 8 to 10,000 people were present yesterday. So it's quite early in the day. People are still coming in. A lot of elderly people have come in. In fact, some of the elderly people, I would request Ashwini to pan to the area at the front. Which has sort of been the frontier of the whole thing. I'm not sure whether he can show the people there, but you can see some elderly people walking in right at the border. So people have been coming in big numbers. It's an early part of the day, so we'll have to wait for a few hours when the big numbers start coming in. And also there's another angle to this is, as you mentioned earlier, that few of the farmer unions have said that they will try to disrupt train movements today as well from 12 to 4 p.m. So that remains to be seen how that unfolds. That could be a big disruption as far as the whole movement goes. So we'll have to wait for that.
Right, Vishal, so of course the BKU and the SKM, and of course they're saying that all this is going to be happening in Punjab. Take us through the kind of inconvenience that the other people there at the Shambhu border are facing because of the large turnout that we are seeing. Visuals on our screen showing the kind of people that are there, and like you mentioned, they've only been multiplying by the day. Take us through the kind of inconvenience, the kind of problems. On one side we have people in Delhi who are also going to be sitting in for that board exam, which is starting today. And of course, an advisory has been put out that they also need to reach the centre before 10 o'clock this morning.
So to take you through that, I will request Ashwini to zoom into this area, which shows a big line of lorries and tractors. That line goes as far back as 5 kilometers. So there are only farmers in the radius of about 5 kilometers near about the border. So if you have to speak to the people who have been facing problems, you'll have to go far back. Here only farmers are there. I spoke to a few people earlier in the day, a few truck drivers who have been stuck here for about a week now. They have to go as far as Bangalore. So they have been facing problems. They don't have access to clean food, water, etc.
We have Neeta with us, joining us from the Singhu border. Neeta, there is another meeting after 2 days of inconclusive talks. Now there's another meeting that's been scheduled at 5 o'clock. Take us through who all are expected to be there at that meeting that's going to be happening in Chandigarh. And is it raising any sort of hopes amongst the farmers, or are they not really expecting much to come out of it?
See, as far as the meetings are concerned, government is obviously trying to reach to the farmers. They are saying, last night we heard the INB Minister, Mr. Anurag Thakur, saying that the new demands have been added to the already list of demands which were discussed in the last meeting. However, there is another reach out to the farmers. The meeting is going to take place at 5 p.m. as you were mentioning at Chandigarh. Right now, we are just near Singhu border. I just want to show you the kind of bandobast. If anything we can learn from Delhi police is the kind of bandobast that they do. and you can see the barricades, the local police, how they are geared up with all kinds of weapons. This is the RAF. Divya, if you can just see, smoke helmets are also there, because we have seen in Shambhu border tear gas were fired by RAF also. Then there are weapons, there are shells, and if I can just show you the kind of arrangements also, if I'll ask my camera person to just move across with me, the kind of barricades which have been erected around the road, the kind of layering. We've been told that it's a 7-layer security which has been kept in place from the borders, as we are speaking, at about 200 kilometers away. That is at the Shambhu border. The farmers are there. That's what we are learning. In between Delhi and Haryana, there are 5 districts and 7 layers of security has been erected by Haryana police also, and also the Delhi police. Meanwhile, Bharat Bandh has also been called by the Kisan organizations, and the demands are similar to those demands which have been raised by the farmers. It's a Delhi Chalo call. The unions behind the Gramin Bharat Bandh have also demanded pensions for farmer, MSP for crops, and also the implementation of the old pension scheme. So there are various demands which the minister was also rightly mentioning. The new demands have come. So the discussions are obviously going on. MSP is high on agenda, but right now at the Singhu border, adequate force is there, RAF is there, the local police is there, and the technology is also being used to keep a lookout. And meanwhile, you know, there are some factories in between. People are moving on foot because the entire area has been restricted. No movement, no vehicular movement is allowed. So obviously people are having a little bit of problem. They are moving on foot from one area to another. So that's the locals. They say when you speak to them that obviously some kind of problems they are facing. But as far as the bandobast is concerned, here at the Singhu border, Delhi police has made adequate arrangements. Even if the farmers try to come, a 7-layer security has been erected for them. Divya?
Right, Anita, just highlight for us how peaceful has it been this morning, given the fact that they've said that they'll be, standing down and not pushing their way through.
I couldn't hear you properly. If you were asking if the kind of problems that people are facing, obviously, if I can just show you, the people are moving on foot because vehicles have been restricted. These bollards have been erected. 3, you can see these concrete bollards and also barricades far from here. They have been kept in place just to keep, even the locals are facing some kind of problem. The factories are there, the movement is restricted. Some local shops, if I can just show you across, the local shops have been shut. So obviously they are also losing out on business if you speak to them. But the farmers are here about 200 kilometers away from here at the Shambhu border, and they are hopeful that the meeting, which is scheduled to take place at 5 p.m. Today evening, that some result would come. They say that the government is trying to reach out to them. So obviously they are also in no mood to antagonize them, and they want to come to the table and at least try to speak to them and try to reach out to a conclusion so that this agitation can be stopped.
Right, Piyush Goyal as well as Arjun Munda are expected to be part of that meeting. So all eyes on that meeting that's going to be taking place at 5 p.m. in Chandigarh. Thank you so much, Neeta, for getting us those details.